Bizarre, quirky, call it what you want stories of the weekend was the England versus Scotland women's game, because there were sisters lining up in it, but not on the same side. Bizarre, quirky, call it what you want stories of the weekend was the England versus Scotland women's game, because there were sisters lining up in it, but not on the same side. They were against each other. Harriet Millar-Mills, who plays her club rugby for Lichfield, was lining up in the England shirt, and Bridget Millar-Mills, who plays her rugby for Worcester, was lining up in the Scotland shirt. I'm delighted to say that they are both with us this evening. So let's start with Harriet. Harriet, thank you very much for joining us, and I guess you've probably got the bragging rights. Would that be fair to say after this weekend?
Yeah, massively. It was an awesome game to play in, an awesome occasion.
Yes, 76 points to nil England won. 12 tries. In fact, the first one didn't actually come until the 19th minute, so you must have piled them on after that.
Yeah, great credit to Scotland. In the first 20 minutes, they just took every pressure we applied to them, and it really showed the standard that they have. It was just they couldn't cope with the pressure, and once we got into our stride, we just seemed to break them down.
I just got to ask you, Harry, your parents, were they watching? Were they there? And who? I just can't see how this come about. Who are they supporting, and why? I mean, who can they support? I mean, they probably felt sorry for your little sister, but how did it work? How does this all come about?
It was quite good. Yeah, it was quite good. I came off the bench, so it wasn't an awful experience for my mum and dad. So they supported my sister during the first half of the game, and then my sister got subbed off as well. So then they got me for the second. So they finished with England, supporting England though. So.
Okay, so let's bring Bridget in at this point. So I guess the first question for you, Bridget, is how come Harriet's playing for England and you play for Scotland? So how did that come about?
Well, I got into the setup a lot later than Harriet because I went off to uni and didn't play rugby. So it was just the way it happened, really. One of my coaches suggested I went to Scotland, so that's just the way it happened, really.
Okay, so you obviously qualified for both, I'm guessing, through your parents, and so it was just a decision to be made.
Yeah.
So do you know the anthem? Did you sing the anthem?
Yeah, I did sing the anthem.
Did you learn it before? Did you?
No, I've known it for a while.
Oh, you've known it for a while, all right. But that must be bizarre. I mean, a lot of sisters and brothers or whatever, they dream about competing with each other for their country. But for you to actually, I mean, it must be the first time this has ever happened. What do you think, Andrew? Is this the first time that ever siblings have played against each other? It must be. Come on.
There's probably someone's done it somewhere. I mean, do you guys know?
I didn't think it was anyone rugby.
First in rugby. Did you get? So was there a time? Was there a time where you were both on the pitch, or was it one subbed and the other came on? You didn't get to actually tackle each other and anything like that. No, during the game.
No.
Oh, what a shame. That would be nice.
So I mean, let's actually look at this game, Bridget, from Scotland's point of view. I mean, there was a lot of talk about the fact that England had sent some of their players over to the Sevens tournament, and therefore they were going to be weaker. But I'm guessing Scotland found out they were still pretty strong.
Yeah, they've just got such a depth of players. I think they only had one new cap in their squad, whereas we've got quite a young, developing squad. And we did for the first 20 minutes. 19 minutes. We didn't let anything in, and I've watched the first 15 minutes, and we looked promising. We did look really good, and I think after the first try went in, a couple of heads went down, and I don't really know what happened. It just went wrong. But on looking back from previous years, we were playing better rugby, and I don't think the score really shows how much we'd improved on last season. But yeah, we've just got to keep getting better, and I'm sure management will be having chats with everyone this week and sort of try and get everyone's heads up again for the Italy game next weekend. But if we played the whole 80 minutes like we played the first 20, then the outcome will be different. We've just got lots to work on.
Well, I mean, you mentioned it's Italy next up at home. And of course, Italy's men beat France this afternoon. A lot of people probably won't know. Italy's women also beat France this weekend. So
yeah, it's going to be a massive game, but you know, we've worked hard, and I just don't think that we should set our standards on the game yesterday. You know, we've worked hard over the summer. We need to just get it right, sort of thing.
Well, absolutely. Harriet, obviously, it's Ireland next up for England, away from home as well. I'm going to see. So Ireland this weekend. Well, they had a victory over Wales away from home. So another good tough game for the England setup.
Yeah, it'll be really tough. I think the score was it 10-12?
That's right. Yeah.
Ireland, and I've heard of a few of the girls that were watching that. It was a really close game and a really hard-fought game. So yeah, it's going to be tough, and I think that's going to be our biggest competition. Them and then France. It's going to be really tough to play through, and I think like a lot of the chat has been that our team isn't as strong as it could be with the Houston, like the girls going off to Houston sevens and things. But I think that just from this score, it proves that we're not necessarily weaker. We're just lacking experience, and the next few games will really give us a lot of experience to play with, and it'll be a great experience for us.
Just a question for you: the shape of the women's game. I mean, it's gone from strength to strength, and New Zealand, you know, historically have been very, very strong, and we had some great results recently. But I mean, do you feel well supported, you know, in the game at the moment? I mean, you know, certainly the men's game is very well supported financially. Is it supported as well now for the ladies' game?
Yeah, well, we're still we all still work full time. So we also have our full-time jobs, but outside of that, just in terms of the support of physio, S&C, the conditioning, everything like that, we get a mammoth amount of support. And it's really credit to we get funding through the EIS and things, and it's really growing. And the more publicity we get, and the more involvement in the sport is just fabulous. To increase the support that we get as players, like for all the nations as well.
Harriet, Bridget, thank you so much for your time on this Sunday evening. Thank you very much for joining us. And Harriet, you're absolutely right there. We must mention the ladies winning out in Houston. Excellent victory on the 7th circuit there. Good luck next weekend for both games. It is, of course, as we mentioned there, England are away to Ireland just like